I'm Alexander Haig. As today's IT environments continue to grow, many companies are realizing solid financial benefits by making their networks more effective and more secure. Joining us to discuss this topic is Dean Pothorin, CEO of PresiNET Systems Corporation. Welcome, Dean. We're delighted to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure.
Now, Dean, what are some of the critical challenges IT managers face today?
Well, networks aren't as simple as they used to be. And as they grow in complexity, it's becoming more difficult to manage them and to secure them. Issues like policy development, policy enforcement, regulatory compliance, forensic audits, network performance, and network security, these are all issues that IT managers must face.
Very good. You got a real obstacle course there, haven't you?
There's quite a few.
Now, how does PresiNET meet network management and security challenges your clients face today?
Well, we provide a premium network intelligence tool that we call TotalView One that is not only easy to use, but it actually provides complete network visibility over the infrastructure, addressing those issues that we were just talking about.
For more, let's go to this 21st Century Business Field Report.
Many enterprises have no way of seeing what is happening on their networks, leaving them exposed to application and network performance issues, downtime, rogue applications, and inability to prove regulatory compliance. PresiNET Systems is supplying a quality solution to this ever-increasing challenge.
Most people are surprised almost as soon as they plug our gear in at the amount of application activity there is that they did not know was actually on their network and it doesn't belong there. In other words, these are things that have never been installed by the central IT shop, that have come in with employees from outside, and they'll see external activity. In other words, external devices talking to their servers and their desktops that, again, most of the time is not legitimate.
As regulatory compliance moves more and more into the IT space, it's interesting to see and difficult to predict where executives will need to have visibility and auditability.
In the modern age, executives are legally responsible for ensuring that their networks are secure. Sarbanes-Oxley requires that, and there are a host of other HIPAA, a host of other regulatory requirements that basically say you've got to be sure that your network is secure, that it's delivering what it's supposed to deliver, because you go to jail if you don't, and that's a very serious outcome. And knowing what's running around on the network is a key part of that process.
Network intelligence is and will become increasingly necessary to strengthen security, validate the effectiveness of existing security tools, improve network operations, and manage IT risks.
The benefits of network intelligence are that it allows us to see what's happening inside of our own network. We have an independent, auditable way of looking at the systems and processes that are running on our network and who's using them.
The peace of mind of network intelligence, of having the knowledge of the different constituent parts that make up your network, the different protocols that are going over, the different users that are on it, knowing that that's all being monitored in a way that's going to give you excellent reporting, be able to take that report, give it to your management, let them have the peace of mind, knowing that you can prove what you say you are doing.
For 21st Century Business, I'm Michael Clark reporting.
For most organizations, the response to security and network performance issues is primarily reactive. How does this impact the effectiveness of an organization?
Well, I think they'll probably lose money. I mean, if the organization is reactive in nature, their network is probably stressed. Whether it's performance-related or security-related, it's going to affect their bottom line.
Very good. For our viewers that may not be IT savvy, what exactly is network intelligence?
Well, there are two aspects to network intelligence. One is physical and one is logical. Physical network intelligence is monitoring the assets of the network, so the switches, the routers, the gateways, looking for performance issues like CPU and memory. We operate in the logical space. So network intelligence for us is monitoring the traffic that is flowing over that physical infrastructure. So things like bandwidth and connections and performance, these are elements that we deal with.
Right. Now, how does network intelligence help to improve network security?
Well, most organizations focus on the perimeter of their networks. So they look at the firewalls and the gateways. We actually, with network intelligence, we look at the data that's actually traversing the network inside the network. So most of the issues today are actually inside the network, most of the security events that take place. And so we provide information back so that they can manage and detect that unwanted traffic.
Good. Now tell us more about Total View One.
Well, Total View One is an appliance that easily tracks all users, all applications, all connections on the network, and it provides information back to the users in either real-time or historical reports. So if you're looking for, say you want to track and find out who's using Skype on the network, or who's downloading music, or who's trying to access servers that are restricted on the network, these are all issues that Total View One addresses.
Now, what products or software do your applications depend on to operate today?
We don't depend on any third-party products or protocols. Because of this, we are easy to deploy, and we provide a holistic view of the network.
Very good. How can IT managers access and use the data?
Well, the access is done through a web portal or a web interface, and the data is displayed in graphical form. Operators can look at their organization from a very high level, enterprise-wide. They can drill in and look at individual components like remote offices or departments, and then they can drill in and look at each individual workstation or server on the network, and they can even drill in further than that and get more details from it.
Now, regulatory compliance has become a big concern. How does your software address this?
Well, being able to audit what's happening on the network is a big benefit for regulatory issues. Most auditors will ask you, do you know what's running on your network? The majority of companies can't answer that. And if they can, the majority of those companies can't provide you with auditable records. So we provide you with both of those.
Both of you solve both issues?
We solve both of those issues, exactly.
Good. Now, is this application available for businesses of all sizes?
Absolutely. We have clients that are 10 users in size, all the way up to tens of thousands of users in size. I think the real point here is that all organizations can benefit from just understanding what's flowing through their networks.
Now, how can network visibility help an organization improve productivity?
Well, network visibility's primary function is to help organizations understand and manage the data that's on their network. So this directly impacts network performance, network efficiency, and network reliability.
Now, what would you say are the features or benefits industry insiders should be looking for?
Well, I think first and foremost, it needs to be easy to deploy, it needs to be easy to use, and it definitely needs to be easy to understand. There's a lot of systems out there that are very complicated and people just don't get it. It needs to be a one-stop shop so people can come there to one appliance without having to log into all these dissimilar systems out on the network. It needs to be able to report your bandwidth in detail. It needs to be able to look at your applications at the layer 7 level. It needs to be detect anomalous traffic, which is really important. It also needs to deal with connection tracking and over a long period of time, up to 7 years for regulatory issues.
Now, what would you say is the most important thing that viewers today should take away from this conversation?
Well, I think the most important aspect of this is that network intelligence is a tool that can really enhance an organization through many different assets, security, performance, reliability, and running blind today is probably not the way to run your network.
Now, at this juncture, we ask our guests to bring our viewers into the future. And I'm talking near-term future, 2 years or 3 out. What would be your prediction for your business over this near term?
Well, I think network intelligence is developing very quickly in the industry. It's becoming one of those necessity tools. And we're trying to position ourselves to be the leader in that. and help organizations get the most out of their network.
Very